morning students. Today I am going to teach you the chapter article. Here it is a very important chapter and earlier in previous classes you have read this chapter also. But here in some tips I have given you this chapter with some tips. The warm up is for you. Which of these makes sense as an instructions on a roll on deodorant? Question here example 1. Take off lid and push up button. Here in this line what you have seen, take off lid and push up button. Some article is required here. Now see the next sentence. Take off the lid and push up the button. Here the and also the, it shows specialized about it. Now read this line. You just identify the correct sentences. A missing article a and or the can actually make such a difference in the meaning. We use articles before a noun. We use articles before a noun. The article a and an are used to refer to a noun for the first time. See here, a or an. That's why it is called indefinite article and it is used for the first time. Or when we mean any, when it keeps the meaning here any, then we use it first times. They are called the indefinite articles because they do not refer to a specific persons. Here indefinite articles never refers to a specific person, places, animals or things. That's why it is called indefinite article. And for indefinite article, a or an is used. The article that specifies the noun. It is used when the noun referred to as already been mentioned or is known as easily recognized. The is called the definite article. The is called the definite article. For examples, have you been a mall? Here, a mall, malls in general. Yes, I have been to a mall. Here also it is in general. This question the replied in the question is arised in a general way. Also the reply is in the general way. But the another questions, what did you shop for the mall? Here the mall it means talking about the same mall previously they have talked all about it. What what did you shop for at the mall? A specific mall which she already talked about. The answer is I bought a pair of shoes at the mall. Here in the next line, in this line, this one the specific mall. The indefinite articles a and an. Sometimes a word or an abbreviation may begins with a consonant. Sometimes an abbreviation may begins with a consonant, but the initial sound may be of a vowel. A initial sound. Here we are reading English, but we have to write the pronunciation of the word where we use a or an. So it is necessary to write down in the Hindi and then to recognize the beginning of the word. If it begins with a vowel sound where there we use an, or if it begins with a consonant sound there we use only a. Like these examples, we will see these examples. An honest man. Here the first word of honest. Here honest, it begins with a consonant or vowel. This one the vowel, and we use here an. So an is used here. An honest man. An hour. The first sound is a vowel sound. Once again read. Similarly, a word or an abbreviations may begins with a vowel, but the sound may be that a consonant. The sound may be of a consonant. We use a. We use a before words that begins with a consonant sound and an before words that begins with a vowel sound. This one a very important line for you to solve the problem about a or and where we use. In the next sentence, a UN program. UN program. Here, what? How do we write? UN program. Here, this letter begins with a consonant. So here we will write down only A. UN program. Of course, U is a vowel sound, but the vowel letter, but it begins with a vowel sounds. Also in next question, UFO. Also when we try to write it U, so it is U also like the same. So there we use A. In the next sentence, a one-eyed crow. One, wa. When you write down wa, one. So here what we have seen, wa is a consonant sound. There a is used. Some exercise is given for you which you have to solve. If an adjective precedes the noun, use a if the adjective begins with a consonant sound, or an if it begins with a vowel sounds. For this line, we will see a boy. Here, if a, here this article, this indefinite article is used only for a noun, but when we write an honest boy, an honest boy, here we will see an is used only for boy, but just before it honest is an adjective, and here the first sound of this word refers precedes the article is used. Here a boy and honest boy. Hope it is clear. This question is for you, and one or two questions I will do for your help, and rest questions you will try to do. Fill in the blanks with the indefinite article a or an. A or an is called indefinite article. B, B, C report. B, the first letter is B, and how do you write? B, B, C. So the first letter is, it begins with a consonant sound. So there we will write A, B, B, C report. NSA employee. NSA. Of course, it begins with a consonant, but the sound of N, it begins with a vowel N, and N is a, when you will try to write, so this one the vowel sound, it begins with a vowel sound, so there we will use an NSA employee. Like the same interesting quiz, interesting, so there we will write an interesting quiz. Hope all are very easy for you and you will do. Before writing, before putting here a or an, it is necessary for you to write down the pronunciation of this first word and then you will use it. Now the next one, the definite article. The definite article, the rules for the use of the definite article, the signals that the noun is specific or definite. It is used before first the superlative degree of the adjective. For examples, the tallest, the strongest, the smartest, the most amazing, the best, the latest. Here everywhere we have seen the is used before superlative degree of an adjective. Next, nouns that are universally known or unique. Universally known or unique. Like you may say the another word heavenly bodies. All these are the heavenly bodies like the moon, the stars, the great bear, the earth, the equator, the north pole. All these are universally known or unique, or you may say the heavenly bodies. Third rule, things of everyday use like the internet, the mobile, the newspaper, the lift, the radio, the metro. Here I have given you some typical things. Typical things here, this rule is the typical things because we have every day used such a things, but we don't know all about this rule. That's why I have said earlier. Now in the next rule, rule number 4, adjectives to represent the whole class, group or population. Here the rich it means the rich people, the tribals, the young, the French, the elderly, the wise, all shows about the groups of the groups which they represent. In a question, in example, in rule number 5, well known positions or rank. It means you may say the designations before the designations. Here the president, the prime minister, the commander, all have the because they possess the post, the positions, the rank. In next rule, names of countries that consist of a common noun such as states, republics or kingdom. States, republics or kingdom. For example, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the Republic of the Congo. Next, names of the countries plural in form or groups of island. For examples, the Netherlands. All these are the groups of island. The Maldives, the Hawaiian island. Next rule, names of rivers, seas and oceans. For examples, the Bees, the Caspian Sea, the Arctic Ocean. In next Next rule, names of mountains, ranges and deserts. For examples, the Western Ghats, the Rocky Mountains, the Thar deserts. The next rule, names of well-known buildings, institutes, bridges, hotels, zoos, theatre, museums and universities. All these are the well-known buildings like the Taj Mahal, the Parliament, the Pentagon, the Indian Institute of Technology, the Howrah Bridge, the Mysore Zoo, the Akshara Theatre, the Salar Jung Museum. All these are the famous things, well-known buildings, well-known institute, bridges, hotels, zoos, theatres, museums and universities. Before it, we use the in next role names of invention or a musical instrument like the wheel. It is a very important inventions. After that, the whole civilizations, the ancient civilizations will change. and the revolutions have started in our culture, in our lifestyle. This the things which helps us. The telescope, the synthesizer, reference to families. Here, for Chatterjees, it means the Chatterjees family. The Kapoor's family, and the Wilsons. Here it means Wilson's family. Now the next rule, names of newspaper and magazines. For examples, the Economic Times, the Hindustan Times, the Outlook. We normally do not use the before proper nouns for these. We do not use the before proper nouns for these. Individual names of the people. But always listens. Sometimes it says don't use, but when we make it the for example, so that time we must have to use the before it, because Kalidas is the Shakespeare of India. Here before the Shakespeare we have used the, but we will know it later. See here, individual names of people like Shyam. So before Shyam we don't use the countries, continents, cities, states and street. There we don't use the days, month and seasons. All these are the proper nouns, so we don't use the languages and subjects of study. Also like English. English is when English is used simply, so it is a language. But when we use the English, it means it represents the Englishman. Festivals, sports, individual mountains when the names includes mount like a Mount Everest, individual lakes when the names includes lake like for example Lake Chilka. So there we don't use the before it. However, we use the before a proper noun under these classes if the noun has been defined or specified for modifier. For example, here given days. The Tuesday after next our exams will be over. The Tuesday. Here it sends particular specified Tuesdays. Months. The July. She visited us. It poured. Seasons. A number of the people is come to cold in the winter before last. Here, in everywhere, when it becomes the specialized or a particular sense, so there we use the before it. Like here, the French, I know is not good enough to read the letter. Here, this means the French is not the inhabitants of the France. Here it refers to language only. The French I know is not good enough to read this letter. Read his letter. Subject. The history we studied was devoted entirely to the early modern era. The history, so everywhere we have seen so. Festivals. The Diwali, Alia first lit a cracker in the one she remembers best. Sports. The football. The two teams played at the final was exemplary. Now the exercise is given for you. This question, use the wherever required or mark a cross where it is not required, like United States. Here you have to use the, yes, of course, the United States. Canada is a proper noun, so no need to write down any no need to write down the before it. Okay, like South Africa. Here the South Africa or cross, no need to write down the here. Okay, and rest questions is for you and you will do it. To read once again the rules and it becomes very easy for you to do so. In next questions, use the wherever required or mark a cross. Use the wherever required or mark a cross. Here the same questions. Dash populations after Diwali spread lot of disease. The populations after Diwali spread lot of disease. Here you will write down the. Dash tennis is my favorite sports. No, before the names of the game, it is a proper noun and it is not specified. It is not a particular things. That's why we don't use any type of article. You will see it, you will read it in another grammar book, their omission of article, and it is much necessary for you to read also the another grammar, and after that you will solve these questions. Now next D. Fill in the blanks with a and or the. This one the exercise for you, and this one the paragraph, and there where it is required, where it is necessary, that time you have to put it, you have to fill it. And E. The articles are missing in the passage. Here some insert a and or the wherever required. It is for your work and you will do, and hence, wherever you have a problem, I will solve all questions in the next videos. There, in your PDF, I will I will send it you. But before you will have to solve, then I will give you. Hope my answer. This one the answers it for your corrections and to know your own caliber. But at first, you have to do it by your own level best. Hope this chapter is finished and summary is given. So this one the summary, just read it. In this chapter we have learned that the indefinite articles a and an are used for first time a reference to a singular countable noun. Once again I have read it. Before singular countable noun we use indefinite article a and an. The definite article the is used when the noun referred to has already been mentioned or is known and easily recognized. It can be used before singular as well as plural nouns. Also, there are certain rules for the use of the before general or proper nouns. So, all these I have read it in the in our related chapter, and thus this chapter is completed. And once again I have said, go through once again after completing this chapter, go through once again and you will do it by your own level without taking any help. So you have to complete it as I have given you the answer set. But before getting this one, you have to do it by your own level. Thank you. Have a nice day.